Hey guys, good day. In this video, we are going to add more functionalities to our system. Um, so previously we added the product and then the supplier navigation and also updated our database. So in this video, we are going to add functionality to the product module. So that includes viewing of products, adding products, and also the editing and then the deletion of the product. So before we do that, if you can see here in our add users page, there's this section for create and then the list of users. So we need to split this one. We'll remove the list of users, and then the create user feature will stay here. The list of users will move it inside the view users menu. So in our code, let's go to our navigation, and then inside the view users we're going to add the users view.php file, and if you refresh then click, as you can see it's 404. That's because we have not created the file. So let's just copy and then let's just create that file. So let's just copy the user side and paste it inside the user's view. If we refresh, so as you can see here, we have the add user, the view user, and then let's update the file. So we'll remove this section, the create user. So this section here, this one, since we divided this one or use the column. Also we have the column 7, so that will only show the list of users. And then instead of 7, let's go to 12, so it will be, or it will take up the whole width of our device. Then here, let's just add some padding between this between the sidebar and then the main page. So the dashboard content main, I think we have CSS created for that. So let's add a padding. So as you can see, there's a padding between the main. Let's just change border or add the border to the content, and then update the color. Instead of green, let's just use this one so it's easier, or maybe we use this one. Don't like it, or that one. So let's replace the green and refresh. So now we have the users view created, and then also in our users add, let's try to remove the list of users there. So in this page, you are going to add or show the create user feature. So same thing, we'll just remove this one and then also change this to column 5. So as you can see, it's gone. And now here, so there are lots, or there are functions that we don't need. So the delete, the update of users is inside the viewing of users page, so we don't need this one. Let's just remove all this. I think we don't, yes, there are no JavaScript code that we need for this file. I'm sorry, in the add user, and I think this will work. Let's just try to test. Today is January 19 or 21. I want 21. Password, let's add. So it's successfully added to the system. So if we view the user, as you can see here, we have the John 21 added. Let's try just to check if it's working fine after we move the file or make the changes. So as you can see, it's updated. We delete, it's deleted. So as you can see, it's working fine. So now let's continue to adding the products module, or the features to the product module. So here we need to add a link. So as you can see, this page just update the href. So I'm going to add product and then view.php. Then here we'll have the product add.php. So if we refresh, go to product review, so we don't have that file yet. So let's just copy and then create a new file. So let's name it product view.php. So as you can see here, we can use or put all these files inside one file and then just include this one, just like we did for the app sidebar, where we include the file inside the page. So inside our partials, so we have the app sidebar, the app top nav. So let's just move the script files inside this page, in the folder, I mean, app scripts.php, and then move that one, we save it, and also the header, since we'll be using most of our pages will be using the same script. So let's just move them so we don't need to write it all the time if we need to create new page. Header script PHP. So if we refresh, let's go back to this. If we the one that we updated is the users add. So as you can see, if we click on the add user, we have this row HTML. So now let's just include the file. So include, and then let's target the partials, then app header scripts.php. As you can see, it's Now showing that also we need to add it inside here, the other file, which is the app scripts.php. So now let's go to the view users, and also we just copy this one and then paste it. So we don't need to remove this one since this is a script specific for this page, so we only need to remove the script that is present inside the user or the app scripts.php. So if we refresh, then also in this section, let's copy this one and then refresh. Let's try to edit if this still works. So it's still working. The deletion, so it's still working. So now let's update also the title, view users, then here add user. So now let's go back to the add product section. So actually right now, if we view the product, since this is the only content that we have, we can just copy the users add, and then not the users add but the users view, and then for now let's just leave it. Let's start working first with the adding a product. So let's remove that one, also this one. So just copy this file, product, add then PHP. If you refresh, as you can see, we'll just need to update the section. So instead per user, we'll add the product. So as you can see, the title, it's add product, and here it should be create product. Then here we have a database file, add.php. And then we have this file for add.php. So as you can see here, this one is created for the, so as you can see, the fields here are created specific for our users table. So if we go to our database and view the inventory, we have the users table. This script is used for adding the users inside the system, but we can configure this one and make it dynamic. And what I mean by dynamic is we can reuse this file and then update the fields based on the fields in our database. So currently we're adding the products, and then as you can see here, we can only show the product name, and then yeah, I think currently we only have the product name. The created by is based on the user that is logged in, which we can get by a session, and then maybe we add more um, data here in our system. So let's just SQL insert. Let's just insert, not insert, go to the structure. We'll add a new column after the product name. Then here let's add description. This is a bar chart, maybe 500 or 200. Let's just make it short and let's make it nullable. Default is now, and then save. So now we have a description property, our column inside the table, so we can capture the product name, description, and then also we might want to add an image to our product. Description, after description, go, then we'll have image, and then here, so if we are going to add an image, basically we'll just need to move the file in a folder. So this is just a link in one of our folders, so depending on which we are going to, or where we are going to move it. So this will be a bar chart, and then let's just add the 100 length values and default to now, then save. So now if we're going to refresh, well, actually we have not done anything yet. So here in our product add.php file, let's just update some of the fields. So we need to capture the name of the page or the name of the product. So product name, also the description, and then the image. So for now I'm not going to add the image yet. I'm going to create a separate video regarding how to upload image in our database. So let's just add these two descriptions, properties, and then remove the other two. Refresh, description, then here these are properties, so we can use the properties that we have inside the database, but it doesn't matter. You can create or choose what name you use in these fields, but in our case you are going to use this one, and we also need this type of naming, since in our add.php we are going to make it dynamic, and we can make use of the name that we set here is important and should be the same or similar inside the column name that we set in our database. So here the description, let's just paste that one, and then also here let's refresh, let's just update this one, create product. So here the description should be an input, since it should look like a text area, and then here let's just the properties. So now let's refresh and update this one. So let's have a view of 100%, then height of 30 px, not 30, let's just increase, and then let's add the class. Then here let's register that one. The name of the class is this one. Refresh, as you can see it's working, it's reflecting. Let's just border ranges 5px, color red, but should not be red, should look like this one. Okay, let's just use the I think that's the color. Refresh, as you can see they are now similar. Then here let's just add a placeholder, enter product name, then here enter this product description. Let's just refresh. So now we have this. So now once the user create the product, so it should trigger the adding of products, so which is this file, the add.php. Then here, as you can see, we have first name, last name, which we did not use because these properties are for the user's data. So if we are going to refresh and add values or enter a creative product, so here successfully added, and it returns to users data. Let's see. So unfortunately it is added successfully to our system, but to the wrong table. So now inside the session table, just going to update this one. So if you look in our add.php here, we have the table name. We are going to add it inside the products table. So here let's just use products. Then here we have the database show users.php. So I think this is a file that pulls, well, not the file, but it's a script. Yeah, it's a file, it's a script that pulls the users data, so we don't need that one. Also in our, sorry, I was editing the wrong file. Should be this one. We'll remove this one. Also here it should be the products table. Products, view products. The product. So now what we're going to do is we're going to update some of these. We have this encrypted, so this for password. So here these are for users data. Capture the table name, so now let's try to let's try to make it dynamic. So I decided we create table or an array for this one. So instead of our file, so we have the database, so let's create here a new file. So it's just a list of variables. So here we can have, let's name it tables so table columns that PHP. So instead of this file, we're going to create a mapping of the table and then the list of properties. So we have users, and then here can list all the properties of that user. I mean the table name. So the users, we have the first name, we have the ID. We don't need the ID since it's auto incremented. We have the last name, then the email, then the password, created that, and then updated that. The next is the products. We have the name, the product name, description. For now, let's not include the image. Created by, same team created that, and then updated that. Then here in our add.php, let's capture the table mappings, and let's just include the file. We have the table columns.php. Then let's try to dump, see if this will capture the array that we created. So as you can see here, we have successfully pulled the data here. So here we can just capture or list the columns that we need. So as you can see, the table name is the name of the table that we set in the front end. So here we have the session table product. So if we use this variable, or we get the columns, so we can just use the table name inside, and this should capture the columns needed. So as you can see here, it returns the columns that we need for the product, or the products properties. So in the product add, if we go to the product, the user function, if we add the users, can see it's different. It's pulling the properties that belongs to the users. So now let's go to add a product. So now we have use or capture the columns. So here we need to look through the columns, and then we need to create like this one. So we should have a property for first name, last name, email. Then same with this one, they should match. However, what we need to do is we need to have a variable. Let's just call it an array, db array. Let's make it empty, and inside this db arrays we are going to create a column. So the properties will be the column, and then inside the properties they will have their own value. So it should look like this. For example, name should have your name. So to do that is you are going to loop the columns. For each columns as column. So if we dump the column, we should get the string. So if we create, let's just add here the product name, maybe fruit. This is your fruit. Then enter. So here as you can see, it returns this columns. So now what we're going to do is inside the dbr, let's set the column as the key, and then the value will be the one that we set in the front end. So the fruit, and then this is the fruit description. So to do that one, I mentioned before that we need to have a similar properties name between the front end, or here the name properties, and inside our database. So once we loop that one, we can just use post and then column. So this will capture the values that we set for that properties. Then here let's just add. If is set, that means it's not empty, then we capture the column or the value, and it's not, then let's just do an empty. So now if we bottom the db array, refresh, so as you can see here, the product name, fruit, descriptions, they are captured. However, the created by, created at, updated at, they are not captured. So this one, created by and created at, we need to have this value, sorry, the updated at, created at. So we need to add a loop or an if statement. So if the column is inside created at, updated at, the value that we set should be the now, which returns the current time, the date and time, else value is this one. Also, if it's created by the value would be the session or the current login user. So if let's just comment that out. So in our connection.php, not connection but login.php, as you can see here, we have this variable. So it's a session and you can use it in any PHP files in our system. So it captures data of currently login users. We are going to get this one. So let's just try first to dump if it will return. So as you can see here, it returns the currently login user. So now what we're going to do is let's store it in a variable, and then here going to have the user and then the ID, since we are going to capture just the ID. Then here we are going to insert the value. So once we refresh our page, it returns this error now, which is, so now is the MySQL function. So it should be a PHP, and to do that we'll just use this one. This will capture your month, date, and the current time. So as you can see here, if we bar them, we have the product name, we have the fruit, the description, created by, updated that. So next we need to do, so let's just comment this out. So the table name is now dynamic. Now we need to create this kind of, so it's a string. So if you notice in our DB array, these are just the properties. So we can just here table properties, and then in PHP we can get the keys. Array keys will be the dbr. So if we var them and then die, as you can see, it will return an array of the properties. Now here we can use the implode. This will convert the array into a string. So we have the product name. As you can see, this is the in between the properties or the values. So if I'm going to do this one, this will separate the each property by the key, by this one, the one that we set. So in our case, it should be a comma, refresh, Then here you can just use this one. Now also here we can use table values, so include and then re values, so this will get all the values from the dbr, and then let's remove. So now we are going to try if this will work, so let's refresh. You have an error in your contact near a fruit. Let's just select, it's not added. So actually it should be code, or we need to make it that way. So I think we cannot do this way, so here we can use this one, use placeholder. So we have already this type of array. So what we're going to do is we'll just insert so we have this data, which is the db array. Also here we have the properties. Now the values, need to use this one. You can just use that one, and then comma, no, comma, and that one. So the EE needs to be, sorry, instead of the values, it should be the still we're still using keys here, but we'll need to update the delimiter. So description, created by, created up, updated that. Then the product name, let's use our other one, prepend. So now let's try to, so these are not actually table values, but these are placeholders. Then insert this here. Let's refresh. Product name, created I, updated that. So before we do that one, we'll just need to prepare the statement. So as you can see here, we have SQL connection. So this should be a connection. Then here we have the statement, and then execute the command. Execute the data, which is the dbr. Now let's try to add a product again. Call that on video statement exec. So it should be execute, not exec. And if we refresh the page, test, and then test, create the product, says we successfully added it. Let's just refresh. So as you can see, we have the product name, the description. Let's try to add again. Now let's just go to add product, test product name, test product description, and we create. And as you can see here, this product name, this product description, and then here the created by is the ID. So we successfully updated it. However, it redirects us to the users add.php. So this should be redirected to the same page, which is the users list, or the products.php. So in that case, we can use session for that. Redirect to product PHP. Then also in the users add, we also need to add that section. So it should be a users add, and then here we can use or update this one, and instead we'll use the session, the name of the session, and then here we can just use that one. So let's try again, view product, or not the view product, but add the product. So Nestle, this is a Nestle product, then create. As you can see, successfully added to the system, and here we have now 3 records. Now if we go to the users, let's just check if this will or this still works. Test. I think this will not work. Oh, it still works. So if we go to users, test, let's just move the ID. So it works. However, the passwords you can see here, it should be a hash like this one. So here we can just let's see here. As you can see, the password, email, last name, they are just the same field from what we set in our database. So that means moving forward, if we have more addition to do, we should need to have the first name or the properties in our form be the same with the properties that we set in our database. And then next one is the password. So in our add.php, we can add another else set, then password. Then here we'll just use this one. And the password, this should be post column. So let's try to add again. Let's do Jackie Chan at yahoo.com. This is a password. If we add, so if we look on our database, Jackie Chan, so it is properly added. And then here also password is now hashed. And then view users, as you can see here, we have Jackie Chan, the first record. So in our next video, we're going to show how to add, or view the products, and then also the image uploading for the product.